An era lost deep in time, millions of years before even the dinosaurs took the stage. The Carboniferous Period. Around 360 million years ago, Earth was nothing like the planet we know today. Picture a tropical world where colossal ferns reached for the sky, their roots tangled with endless swamps. The air was thick and heavy with moisture. Every breath carried the scent of wet earth and decay. But the strangest thing of all was the air itself. Today, oxygen makes up about 21% of our atmosphere. Back then, that number soared to nearly 35%. The atmosphere was like a vast powder keg. One spark, and an entire forest could erupt into flames. This abundance of oxygen was a gift and a curse. It supercharged life, pushing evolution to build creatures of unimaginable size. Insects and reptiles grew to monstrous proportions. There were no mammals, no birds. Instead, the world belonged to the buzzing wings and creeping legs of giants. Dragonflies the size of hawks, centipedes as long as cars, and the echoing hum of wings that shook the air. The planet itself was a living laboratory, rewriting the rules of life. The Carboniferous was one of Earth's strangest, most mesmerizing yet unsettling chapters. The planet looked like something out of science fiction, a world where nature seemed to have forgotten its limits. In the skies glided Meganeura, a dragonfly with wings spanning up to 70 centimeters. It hunted with precision, striking in milliseconds, the undisputed predator of the ancient skies. But not all were hunters. Among the misty trees fluttered enormous butterflies, known as Palaeochorus theophrastia, 10 times the size of modern ones. Their wings were as thin as lace, shimmering with golden dust that caught the sunlight and scattered rainbows with every beat. They were harmless, feeding only on plant nectar, gentle ghosts drifting through the humid air. On the ground, however, beauty gave way to terror. Lurking in the shadows was Pulmonoscorpius, the largest scorpion ever known. Nearly 70 centimeters long, armored like a tank. Its claws crushed prey before a venomous sting finished the job. You might never notice it, but it would certainly notice you. And then came the true giants of the undergrowth. Arthropleura, the car-sized millipedes. Stretching up to 2.5 meters long, they crawled through the forests like living armored trains. So large and imposing that even the giant scorpions kept their distance. Imagine walking through those forests and realizing that the biggest creature you'd ever meet was an invertebrate. If you were lucky, you'd only hear it chewing leaves. If not, the sound of its armored body sliding through the dark would stop your heart. The Carboniferous was nature's grand experiment in size. With so much oxygen, everything grew larger, thicker, louder. It was truly the age of giants. But even giants fall. Around 335 million years ago, the continents began to move toward one another in a slow and silent collision, forming the supercontinent known as Pangaea. This reshaped not just the map of Earth, but its climate, its air, and the delicate balance of life itself. The once humid world dried out. Oxygen levels dropped, and the lungs of those colossal insects failed them. Their age flickered out, quietly, like the last spark of a dying flame. By 299 million years ago, the Carboniferous ended, leaving behind charred forests, shrinking species, and the foundations of a new world. That end marked a new beginning, the dawn of the Permian period. The Permian opened with a planet transformed. Nearly all land masses had fused into one, the massive supercontinent Pangaea, surrounded by a vast endless ocean called Panthalassa, a lonely land in the middle of an infinite sea. At first, Earth still felt the cold breath of the Ice Age. But over tens of millions of years, the world began to heat up. Forests vanished, deserts spread, and the climate turned harsh and unforgiving. For life, this was both a trial and an opportunity. Evolution whispered once more, "The stage is yours." And new actors emerged. the first true reptiles, the distant ancestors of both dinosaurs and mammals. Among them swam Diplodocus, a 1-meter-long creature with a boomerang-shaped head. No one knows exactly why. Some believe it helped it steer underwater, others that it was just nature's strange sense of style. Then came Dimetrodon, the sail-backed predator that has become an icon of the Permian age. Reaching up to 5 meters, its huge dorsal sail likely helped control body temperature, or perhaps it was a display of dominance. Around 290 million years ago, Dimetrodon was the apex predator of its world. But even its reign would not last. In time, the therapsids appeared, the mammal-like reptiles. They had sharper teeth, stronger jaws, and more complex bodies. Some were peaceful giants, others relentless hunters. Deuterosaurus, for example, grew nearly as large as a crocodile, while Lycanops, only a meter tall, hunted with the deadly precision of a prehistoric wolf. The Permian world was a land of monsters before the dinosaurs, nature rehearsing its next great act. And as the ages passed, these creatures grew more advanced, more diverse, more familiar. The Gorgonopsians were among the strangest of all, fierce, muscular predators with saber-like teeth and bear-like builds. Some were tiny and light, others weighed nearly a ton. Their teeth began to specialize, some for crushing bone, others for slicing plants. In these jaws, the first seeds of mammalian evolution were sown, but paradise never lasts. Around 252 million years ago, Earth turned a dark page, the Great Dying, the most catastrophic mass extinction in the planet's history. It was an apocalypse that nearly erased life itself. 90% of ocean species vanished, and 70% of land life with them. What could cause such devastation? Scientists believe the answer lies in the north, in what is now Siberia. For millions of years, massive volcanic eruptions, the Siberian traps, spewed endless lava and poison gas. The air filled with sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide, blocking sunlight, cooling the planet, then heating it in violent swings. Oceans turned acidic, their oxygen vanished, and a chain reaction of death swept the world. It took over 10 million years for life to recover, as if Earth itself had been rebooted. But as always, every ending births a new beginning. From the ashes of the Great Dying rose the creatures that would one day hand the stage to the dinosaurs. In 2001, scientists made a stunning discovery, evidence that during the Permian Triassic extinction, a massive celestial body might have struck Earth. Trapped carbon crystals revealed unusual helium and argon isotopes, elements that could have only come from space. The object may have been 6 to 12 kilometers wide, large enough to dwarf Mount Everest, and its impact would have unleashed energy 1,000,000 times stronger than any earthquake. Combined with the ongoing volcanic fury, it was as if nature had pulled both triggers at once. That cataclysm opened the next great era, the Mesozoic, the age of reptiles. It would last 186 million years and unfold in 3 epic acts: the Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous. The Triassic began as a world still recovering. Pangaea remained whole, surrounded by the boundless Panthalassa. The air was hot, the lands dry, deserts stretching for endless miles. Yet in that desolation, evolution began anew. Tiny, daring creatures took their first steps toward a new destiny. Recent discoveries show that dinosaurs and their flying cousins, the pterosaurs, evolved from these small ancestors. One of them, found in Madagascar and nicknamed Congo Naponkeli, was barely 10 centimeters tall, a minuscule insect hunter that lived 237 million years ago. Who could have guessed that its descendants would one day rule the Earth? As the Triassic continued, the ruling lizards, the archosaurs, took the spotlight. Among them were Eoraptor and Herrerasaurus. Eoraptor, about a meter long and weighing just 11 kilograms, was swift and deadly, seizing prey with razor claws. Herrerasaurus was far more fearsome, 6 meters of muscle and teeth, the nightmare of the Triassic wilderness. And it was around 225 million years ago, with creatures like these, that the age of dinosaurs truly began. Small, fast, and relentless, they evolved in a burst of unstoppable change. Evolution slammed its foot on the accelerator, and Earth once again was reborn. This time, it was the dawn of the age of dinosaurs.